What's up, guys? Theo here, coming to you with a breakdown for Nikolas Motta versus Tom Nolan. So Nikolas Motta is a plus 225 dog in this spot. He's coming off of a no contest controversial fight against Trey Ogden, in which the fight was stopped early by the referee. I believe it was Mike Beltran, who thought that Nikolas Motta was basically unconscious, asleep, being choked by Trey Ogden. But then he popped back up. It turned out he wasn't, and there was a lot of controversy around it. A lot of people mad at Mike Beltran that night, but in actuality, that wasn't actually a bad stoppage. If you go and you listen to the footage closely, you can hear that Nikolas Motta was snoring the way that fighters do when they get like knocked out or choked. So he might not have been unconscious, but he was basically in a place where he was about to go unconscious. His body was reacting on its own. He was audibly snoring and not showing any kind of indication that he was continuing to fight. So I don't consider that to be a bad stoppage for Mike Beltran. I think Nikolas Motta is just a poor loser. I really didn't like the move he pulled. I mean, the guy was getting completely dominated in the fight the entire time. Nobody thought Nikolas Motta was winning that fight, and he was like a favorite in that position, if I remember correctly. And the guy was just beating him up, holding him on the ground. And to be honest, I mean, 9 out of 10 people would have thought that Nikolas Motta was about to go unconscious in that position. But he pops back up, makes a big deal out of it. So they rescheduled him a fight. But in reality, I don't consider that a fault against Mike Beltran. They have a very hard job in there. And when you're not responding to refs, you're not showing any kind of indication that you're actually moving or defending, and you are being leaned on like that, and you start snoring, I mean, of course, the ref is going to think you're out. You know, Trey Ogden probably thought he was out, and Trey Ogden was on top of him. So I don't think that was a bad stoppage. I just really don't like Nikolas Motta's attitude. He's really been dropping the ball in a lot of fights, actually. He was a big favorite against Manuel Torres, and Manuel Torres went in and knocked him out in like the first round in like 3 minutes or something, from what I remember correctly. So he's really been a 500 fighter in the UFC so far. One of the lesser promising signs off of Contender Series. And he's taken on Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan is the exact opposite. Basically, he's one of the more hyped guys coming off of Contender Series. This guy's an Australian prospect, and he knocked out Bogdan Grov in his Contender Series fight. Hands looked great. Swag looked great. The guy has power. And he seems to have promise. He's a long, lanky guy. I think a lot of people can tell this guy has a little bit of that it factor, a little bit of the thing that we try to look for, just going off of our gut. Obviously, Nikolas Motta is the more seasoned guy, but based on what I was just talking about, if you go and look at his record, it's not an impressive record. This guy's never really looked that good in the octagon, and he's getting outstruck by Trey Ogden, who is like not even. Trey Ogden is like not even this amazing fighter or anything. Nikolas Motta was supposed to beat Trey Ogden, and Trey Ogden was like piecing him up. I mean, if Trey Ogden is like piecing Nikolas Motta up, he's going to get destroyed by Tom Nolan. So Tom Nolan minus 325 favorite in this spot. Totally understand why. Nikolas Motta should be the underdog here. Tom Nolan should be the favorite. I think Tom Nolan's probably going to knock him out. I wouldn't take a dog shot on Nikolas Motta. I think he's probably going to end up getting cut if he gets knocked out here, because he just hasn't been putting on very good performances. And like for me personally, I don't like guys that try to make the officials look bad when they're getting submitted, so that they can like find a way to get another fight and make it look like they didn't do anything. You're just not taking responsibility on yourself. So I don't like the attitude I've seen from Nikolas Motta. Don't really like his fighting style. Don't like his record. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to bet Tom Nolan at minus 325 here. He's probably worth minus 325, but probably bet him when he gets a higher level of competition going against him and his odds are a little bit better, because I think he's probably going to run through Nikolas Motta, and then we'll see him face better strikers and grapplers, etc. But yeah, give me Tom Nolan all day here. I would be really surprised to see Nikolas Motta pull this off. I think that Tom Nolan's one of those guys that he's probably really hard to submit. He's long, lanky. He's got good takedown defense based on what I saw in the amateur scene. And he's got power, and I just think it's a bad stylistic matchup for Nikolas Motta. So give me Tom Nolan all day. You're not going to find me taking Nikolas Motta as an underdog. Stay tuned in, guys. We're going to come back with more predictions for this card later this week.